Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. How is everyone doing today? Hey, this is Gregory Wiles coming live to you from Houston, Texas with his inspirational morning walk. Happy Friday to you guys. Happy Friday, man. So, yes, for first-time listeners, I get some exercise in the mornings and I just share my thoughts with you guys. But like I said, if it's I have more than one pages, I will just sit in the vehicle and get this word out where I'm more comfortable. Well, good morning, man. Hope everyone is ready for this weekend. Hope everyone is ready for the weekend. If you missed anything that I did, you can check it out on YouTube. And everything is there on YouTube. I'm on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 7:30 Central Time. There's our time here in Texas. And the Eastern time zone, that's 8:30, and then you can check and see from there which time zone are you in. But this is our time here, 7:30 in Texas right now. So good morning, Jillian. Good morning. Hope you're having a great day so far. Hope you're having a great day. Okay, I got a little bit of material to cover today, so I can get into it early. Because last on Wednesday we talked about a hypocrite and who's a hypocrite, and we try to explain, we define a hypocrite, and today I said we can get into those woes, what stuff for Jesus telling them this is going to be the result of your actions of being a hypocrite. So we can get into that. But first, let me do a quick recap if someone didn't hear and trying to follow along what we did. We defined what a hypocrite is. The definition of a hypocrite is a person who pretends to have certain beliefs, attitude, or feelings when you really don't. And an example they give of a hypocrite is a person who says they care about the environment but consistently littering, right? So, Renita, good morning. Good morning. How are you doing? So, as a hypocrite is somebody who do the opposite of what it's saying. They don't practice what they preach, right? That's in a nutshell that we talk about a hypocrite. And then we talk about Matthew 7:5 when you say, you hypocrites, first take the log out of your own eyes, then you will see clearly to take the speck out of your brother's eye. So we talk about that and what that means, right? And then we go into the first part of Matthew 23. We went through that first part of Matthew 23 when Jesus saying, these teachers just tell you one thing and they do a next thing, right? Marcy Michael, good morning, good morning. So we covered that. You could go back if anyone catching this for the first this we didn't hear on Wednesday. You could go back on YouTube. I can't go over everything, but I really want to jump into what I want to get into today. I remember we talk about the phylacteries of doing all these stuff for show, and they want to wear all these big fancy robes and dress, and people call them all these big names and everything, and they're setting all these laws and making it so tight for you, and they're not following it, right? It's a hypocrite saying one thing and pretending to be one thing, but in the heart, they're doing a totally different thing, right? So we still on Matthew. So now we on Matthew 23. Now we can go through. We can look at about verse 13 through 28 and see these 7 woes and the things what Jesus was trying to tell these Pharisees. What's going to happen to them as a result of the actions? What fruits their actions is going to bear, right? In a nutshell, that's what we're trying to tell them. But I want to let people know this. Jesus was talking to these Pharisees and these leaders, but this applies to every one of us in our everyday life. This applies to us, and we can try and see if we can draw some comparison and see how these, what he's telling the Pharisees here, how it fit into our lives today, because he was just addressing them. But hypocrite and hypocrisy goes not only in the church, it's all over. And a lot of us, or I should say all of us, was at one time influenced by that spirit of hypocrisy at one time or another, right? So we'll look at that. So let's look first. This is Matthew 23:13. First way on. He said, woe to you teachers of the law and Pharisees, here he addressed them, you hypocrites. You shut the door of the kingdom of heaven in people's faces. You yourselves do not enter, nor will you let those enter who are trying to, right? So if you're reading this, you say, how they can shut the door of heaven in people's faces? They ain't in no heaven, they're right here on earth. How they doing that? What Jesus is really talking about? But what Jesus is saying to them, they're hypocrites. They are misleading people. They're circumventing a lot of these laws. Remember, they said to make this stuff is so tight. In verse 4, they said to crush the people who unbearable religious demands and never lift a finger to ease their burdens, right? Remember, he said in verse 4, right? So he's saying, you guys twisting this law and teaching people the wrong things, right? And if they go and learning the wrong things and doing the wrong things, they cannot get into heaven. You know, they cannot get into heaven because God does not say, well, okay, well, this pastor lead her the wrong way or him the wrong way. I can still let them in because they didn't know what they're doing. No, 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 no. You know, ignorance is no excuse for the law. That's what God's saying. They perish because they lack knowledge. So if you don't read in your own Bible and you just got these guys leading you and doing the wrong thing, you going into hell just with them. This is what God's saying. But he put the blame on them. Y'all are shutting the door in people's faces. You in the seats of Moses, you're supposed to be interpreting the law to these people to get them where they need to go. But you are not doing that. You're teaching them the wrong thing. You making up your own laws. And because they're following it, they're going to perish too. But I putting this burden on you because you shutting the door to the kingdom of heaven in their faces. You're the reason they're not going. But the end result, they're still not going. Right? So, but you're the reason for it. So, as we're saying, you're shutting the door to heaven in people's faces. Right? So let's go on to verse 15 now. He said, woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You travel over land and sea to win a single convert, and when you have succeeded, you make them twice as much a child of hell as you are. See what he's saying? A child of hell. He's serious with hypocrisy. He said, you making them, you go out your way to get people to come to your church and be a part of your congregation. And when they get there, the doctrine that you teaching, you sending them straight to hell. That's what he's saying. You're sending them straight to hell because you're not teaching them the right thing. You're saying one thing and you're doing a whole nother thing, making up laws and rules to suit yourself. And you're going to send these people to hell. That's what he's saying. You went out your way to get them. You're gone. I got to come to my church. We do this. And you put, you know, when people selling you stuff, right? You know, they got some crooked salespeople, not all, some real crooked salespeople, and they're showing you a product. Let's say I'm in the cleaning industry, and I'm going to use that example. They're going to show you, okay, this product here, you got all this fancy, these stains, and look, just a little dab. You know them stuff you see on TV and make the stuff look so shine with one wipe. It looks so shine, your old metal will be shining again, and when you buy it, you won't get the results. What they're saying you get, you know, when you show it on TV and they do all of this stuff and this stuff does this and does that. You see all those commercials. When you buy the product, you don't get the results, right? That's hypocrisy. They're telling you one thing and then they're selling you something else, right? So that's what he's saying. You go out there and show all these people all these benefits they can get if they come to your church and if they be a part of your congregation and if they follow God, and you know and then when they come, you just teaching them a different doctrine and sending them straight to hell. It's just like them salespeople, them crooked salespeople. That's what he's saying there, right? So let's go on. Woe to you, blind guides! You say, if anyone swears by the temple, it means nothing. But if you swear by the gold of the temple, it's bound by oath. I can read a little bit more and explain this out. This is serious. You blind fools, which is greater, the gold or the temple that makes the gold sacred? You also say, if anyone swears by the altar, it means nothing. But anyone who swears by the gift of the altar is bound by the oath. I can't wait till get to the end, man. Let me tell you what they're doing here. And this is going on, and you guys know, this is going on in a lot of places, in a lot of churches today, right? Well, Jesus telling them, man, you telling people, right? If anyone swears by the temple, right? They swears by the temple. Who the temple is the house of the Lord. So they tell them, you can curse, you can do anything against the temple. It's not a problem. That's not a problem, man. But the money, you mess with the money and you say, that's a big problem. But you could curse, you can do anything you want in the temple. That's not a problem. That's not a problem. But once you paying the tithe, once you bringing your money here, once you're messing with the money, you good. You good with God. You good with God, man. Just bring the money here. Don't mess with the money. But you could do anything you want in the church. But don't mess with the money. That's when you got a problem. That's when God hit you now. But doing all the wrong things, it's not a problem. Just bring up the money, right? So here what Jesus addressed them, right? He said, you blind fools, which is greater, the gold or the temple that makes the gold sacred? You also say, if anyone swears by the altar, it means nothing. It means nothing if you go in God's altar and you swearing and you doing all. It doesn't mean nothing. That's what it's teaching you, right? But anyone who swears by the gift on the altar is bound to the oath. So if you're messing with the money now, you got some problems. You getting curses. God's going to curse you if you're messing with the money. But don't care what else you do. You blind men, which is greater, the gift or the altar that makes the gift sacred? Therefore, anyone who swears by the altar swears by it and by everything on it. So Jesus is telling them now, this is this is the right thing to do. If anyone who swears by the altar swears by everything on it, and anyone who swears by the temple swears by it and by the one who dwells in it. And anyone who swears by heaven swears by God's throne and by the one who sits on the throne. So he's saying, you see how you twisting people and making people do the wrong thing. You telling them it's okay to curse God. It's okay to curse his house. You could do anything you want in his house. It's not a problem. But once you paying your tithes and your offering and you doing good and you're messing with the money and the money keep flowing, we good. God is in this house and he's going to bless us. But you could curse him all you want. That's not a problem. That's not a problem. Just bring your money and you're good. You curse God right now and you bring $5,000. Okay, you good with God. He okay. He don't care if you lie, cheat, steal. Just bring the money and we good. Right? We good. All right, let me go on. Now, we're on 23 now. Matthew 23:23. Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You give a tenth of your spices, mint, dill, and cumin, but you have neglected the more important matters of the law, justice, mercy, and faithfulness. You should have practiced the latter without neglecting the former. You blind guides, you strain out a gnat, but swallow a camel. So he's saying it's the same thing. Justice, mercy, and faithfulness to God and doing proper justice and having mercy on people. That doesn't mean a thing in this house here. But once you making your tithes, right, to say you give your a tenth of your spices and mint, you're giving it. This out there was their currency back in the days. So they're trying to tell you, once you paying your tithes up with the church and you giving the seed and you making offerings, you making donations to church, it doesn't matter what you do. God is good. You're going to be saved. Doesn't matter. You go out, lie, cheat, steal, rob people, kill people. It's not a problem. But once you paying your tithes every month, and you giving a big donation at the end of the year, you're good. No. God. You don't got no problem with God. You don't need to do all of that. Just give your money to the church and you fine. Or give your money to... That's what God's saying. You're sending all these people to hell because you got to do both. You got to give to the church and you got to teach them with justice and mercy and being faithful. You got to do both. That's what he's saying. You blind guide, you strain out a gnat. You know, a gnat is the little small fly, like the fruit fly. You strain out, oh, this is not good for me, I can't. But you're swallowing a big camel. You're swallowing something worse than the little gnat. Right, so that's what we tell them. Let's go on, 25. Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You clean the house of the cup and dish, but inside are full of greed and self-indulgence. Blind Pharisees, first clean the inside of the cup and dish, and then the outside will be clean, man. I don't know if I need to explain this. He's saying, man, you trying to look outside. Remember we talk about wearing the tassels and the fancy robes and wanting people call them all these big fancy names and all of that. But he's saying you look the part. You outside you're clean and nice and this big Lord robe and you got your long beard and you look like I'm righteous more than God. But he's saying inside your heart is just greed and self-indulgence because you want these people just to give you money to you to look good and live a fancy life. You're selfish and you're leading all of them straight to hell. He said it's greed and self-indulgence. He said, you clean your heart out, teach people the right thing, then everything else on the outside gonna flow. You're gonna still get the money. You're gonna still live a good life, because my word promised you that. You don't have to be greedy and selfish to live the life you want. Live the life. My word promised you that I'm gonna prosper you if you do the right thing. So if you clean out your heart, you first clean the inside of the cup and dish, and then the outside will be clean. He said, you're going to still live the life, but by being righteous and leading people the right way, not sending them to hell so you could prosper. That's selfishness, right? So we're going to finish up. Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites, you are like whitewashed tombs. Man, Jesus going down and using some example, trying to make it clear. If you don't understand all what I'm saying there, I can show you. I can make you understand. I can break it down more. You are like whitewashed tombs, look beautiful on the outside, but on the inside are full of bones of the dead and everything unclean. Same thing. You look good on the outside. You got this great appearance. You're a hypocrite. You're trying to show people but the inside, your heart, man, is your heart. He's saying, but you look beautiful on the outside, but on the inside are full of bones of the dead and everything unclean. It's the same way on the outside. You appear to people as righteous, but on the inside you are full of hypocrisy and wickedness. So you appear on the outside. It's like a sheep in wolf clothing, right? Look like a nice sheep. As soon as you get close, it's a wolf, right? You appear on the outside. So that's what hypocrite is. Saying one thing, doing the next thing. So, guys, you remember what Matthew 7:5 say, right? So, you hypocrite, first take the log out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to take the speck out of your brother's eye. So, before we go on and criticize these Pharisees here, and we know the stuff what they're doing, we got to take a look at our own lives, guys, because he was talking to the Pharisees here. But a lot of us are involved in hypocrisy in our everyday lives, right? And if we deny that, you can't deny that, right? How much that person you meet, your partner you're with, your girlfriend, boyfriend, when you meet them, did you tell them all you stuff? Oh, tell me something about yourself. Oh, no, I'm this and you show them one face, but you know you ain't telling them everything you did and doing and was really inside your heart, right? But you put on the show. You first meet them first time, you want to impress them, right? According to this definition, right? That's a hypocrite, right? How much of us right now, we whoop our kids and we go around and we tell the world how they're so bad and this, and you curse them, you're going to be this and you're going to be that. For some of the same things that we did in our time. For some of the same things, right? But we make them think they're going to hell right now. And but we ain't telling them, mommy and daddy did those same things that you're doing. Yes, you got to stop them. You got to discipline them. I'm not saying that. You got to, because you know what the results going to produce, right? But we sometimes make them think that we are more holy than thou. We never went through that. If you explain to them, man, I've been there. I know what that is. And I see the result. I know the results you're going to get. But sometimes we make it think like we never did none of this stuff. And we killing them. No, but I'm telling you, don't get me wrong. You got to, because you know what the behavior is going to get them. And you got to stop it, right? But sometimes some people make it look like they never do it. And the kids don't have the impression that, I didn't never do these things and I'm so bad and I can go to hell because, but sometimes you got to let them know, I've been there and I know the mistakes and I know it's going to get you. That's why I'm going to be hard on you, right? So you look at your life right now and see which parts of it you're being a hypocrite. Don't only look at these guys. This is not only in the church. If you're saying one thing and doing the next thing, you fit this definition. So this whole thing is about us looking at ourselves and cleaning it up. And that's why God said you could trust my word. That's why you could hold on when we have those teachings and we said put your trust in God's word, not in man, not in your hospital, not on your teacher, not in your husband, not in your wife, not in your children. Put your trust in the word, what his word said he's going to do. Because God said, I don't believe in hypocrisy. My word said, I'm going to heal you if you do what you need to do. That's what's going to happen. That's why he's saying he can't touch you if you got generational curses on you. If you go and swear to other altars, people who swear to other altars, he's saying, I cannot do nothing with you until you clean that up. Because if I say that I'm going to bring that curse on your third and fourth generation, if you worship any other gods, I cannot go now and just do something different if you don't repent and worship and ask for forgiveness of that. If you don't even know it's there, I still can't do nothing. Because if I do anything different and save you, I am a hypocrite and I don't believe in hypocrisy. My word stands. If it says you're going to be, if you break the law, this is going to happen. If you follow the law, this is the blessing you can get. If you break it, this is the curse. That is going to happen. Because I am not going to be a hypocrite. That's why we can trust God's words. Because he's serious about hypocrisy. He is very serious. If you do the right thing, you're going to get the reward. If you don't, you're going to be disciplined, whatever come along with that, right? So that's why I'm trying to tell you. We can trust his word. Because he's not a hypocrite. We can trust his word. We can trust it. And that's the reason why he's so serious with covenants. You make a covenant, he's saying you got to, if it's right or wrong, you got to give you the free will. Whatever covenants you make, you're going to honor the covenant. Until you ask to get out of the covenant. But it's going to be honored. That's my law. I'm serious with covenants. You make the covenant to me, you're good. You make the covenant to the devil, well, you take what come with it. Right? So that's why he's saying you can trust my word. My word is not going anywhere because I don't believe in hypocrisy. So guys, so let's look at ourselves this weekend and see which part of our lives we're being a hypocrite. Which part of our lives, which part we're showing people one face and then we're doing a completely different. When we're in front of the church, we like holier than thou, and then when as soon as we left church, people going by the sweetheart, they're going by they got the wife, they're going by the girlfriend, they got a husband, they're going by this other man. But when you're in church, when pastor in front of pastor, we are straight up. We don't have no sin. But as soon as we turn church over, or a lot of people in church, as soon as church over, they're gone by the opium man. But in front of everybody, they want to show they're just godly person, but they're gone by the opium man to get a read and all of that. Hypocrisy. All right, we can leave that there, guys. I know we'll go on a little too long, but sometimes I got to bring home the point. So let's look at ourselves and clean up our own lives first before we try to take the speck. Before we try to criticize these Pharisees, what Jesus said. Before you criticize these Pharisees, I know I come down hard on them, but look at your life first before you criticize them. Look at your life. Take the speck out of your eyes before. Take the plank out of your eyes before you can take the speck out of the next man's eyes. All right, guys, we can leave it there. Have a great day. Goodbye.